Nature is all around us. We just have to know where to look. Join us as we explore and learn about what Southern California's environment has to offer. I'll be introducing you to some amazing people who also dedicate their lives to preserving, protecting, and educating students about the amazing things in the field of outdoor education. Our journey begins at the Catalina Island Express Terminal in San Pedro, California. Hey guys, I'm Reyes, a naturalist with LAUSD's Beyond the Bell program. Today, learning might look a little bit different, but that's not going to stop us from getting out there, exploring, and learning together. So, I'm going to get my stuff together and we're going to get going. But we always need to make sure that we follow the precautions, wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart, and keeping our hands nice and clean. So with that being said, got my stuff here. Now, some of you guys may not have been to Catalina before, and that's okay. I've been there quite a few times. But an awesome thing about going on an adventure and exploring, and learning especially, is that you can always learn more. So that's what we're looking to do today. I'm gonna get my bags. Hope you guys are ready. Today, we'll be traveling aboard the Catalina Express. This ferry goes between the mainland and 2 harbors on Catalina Island. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to get there. The islands off the coast of Los Angeles are part of a chain called the Channel Islands. There are actually 8 that make up what is referred to as an archipelago. The northern islands are San Miguel, Santa Rosa, Santa Cruz, and Anacapa. The southern islands may be a bit more familiar. They are San Nicolas, Santa Barbara, San Clemente, and Santa Catalina. Located about 72 miles from downtown Los Angeles, Catalina is the 3rd largest of the Channel Islands. It's 21 miles long and up to 8 miles wide. Okay, so today I got a couple of people, a couple explorers that are going to be joining me. This is Sophia and Andrea. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
All right, so what do you guys, have you ever been to Catalina before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what are some things you know about it already before we go out there?
Well, there's a special fish there called the Garibaldi, and it's very common around the island.
Okay, so is that the big orange one?
Yes, that's the orange one.
Okay, cool. I think we're going to see a couple of those. Have you guys ever heard of a marine protected area?
Yes.
Yes.
You have? Okay,
Yeah.
So what does it mean
They I think it means that they don't let people go fishing, and they don't let people
They don't allow people to hunt fish there or any sort of wildlife.
This is a very common belief, and it's totally understandable. True, some MPAs don't allow for fishing, but others, like the one we're going to, do, with some restrictions. Each marine protected area is different, and the rules may vary from place to place, so it's always a good idea to check before having a visit. We're almost to Emerald Bay. Once at 2 harbors, it's accessible by car or boat. We opted for the scenic route. Yeah, that is a heck of a commute. You may wonder why Catalina looks so dry, even though it's surrounded by water. It actually has something to do with the climate. See, Catalina has what's known as a Mediterranean climate, which means it's warm and dry in summer and cool and wet in winter. Catalina is home to an ecosystem called the chaparral. Chaparral ecosystems mainly consist of shrubs and brush that can live with limited rainwater. Did you know Catalina only gets about 12 inches of fresh water every year? That means trees on Catalina that grow naturally are smaller compared to what you might see in a forest. We're coming up on Emerald Bay. This camp is operated by the Boy Scouts of America, Western Los Angeles County Council. It's also home to the Emerald Bay Outdoor Academy.
Emerald Bay Outdoor Academy is a science camp on Catalina Island located at Camp Emerald Bay. We'll explore marine protected areas in the island interior, doing things like taking a stand-up paddleboard to a kelp forest, going snorkeling, checking out a remote operated vehicle underwater, looking at the night sky through a telescope, or taking a sunset hike to overlook Arrow Point. Right now, it's not safe to have everybody out here, so enjoy our video as we show you around, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Coming up to the dock, we're immediately struck by the location. I'm really excited to get moving and jump into the water and explore what this awesome place has to offer.
you guys, I'm Kala. I'm staff here at Emerald Bay. Today we're gonna go snorkeling, obviously, because you have your wetsuits on. They keep you from getting super cold. They insulate your body heat so we can snorkel longer. We also have booties so that we can walk on the sand and on the rocks. We have your fins so that you can paddle against the water and swim faster. And then what are these for?
Our swim fins.
Yeah, exactly. They're just your snorkel so that you can breathe, and then your mask so that you can see what you're doing. So today we're gonna snorkel in Doctor's Cove, and you can expect to see rocky reef, fish, abalone, so those are snails, maybe some sea cucumbers, and a beautiful kelp forest.
As you can see, Reyes, Sophia, and Andrea are out snorkeling in Doctor's Cove. Doctor's Cove is actually a part of our marine protected area from Lion's Head out to Arrow Point. Now, a marine protected area is an area of the ocean where activity is still allowed, but the habitat, the fish, the ecosystem are protected for future generations to allow for the expansion of the populations and to safeguard the habitat that those animals are living in. Now, one thing that a lot of people ask is, does this mean that marine protected areas are off limits to recreation? And actually, that's not the case. There are marine protected areas which may have restricted rules that don't allow for certain types of fishing, but all non-take recreation such as swimming, paddleboarding, kayaking, sailing, and even scuba diving are allowed in all of the MPAs. They were created over a 12-year period by all kinds of stakeholders. Stakeholders are people like you and I who maybe are interested in fishing, boating, scuba diving, and even scientists who may be interested in studying animals. This diverse group of people came together while still giving us all an opportunity to enjoy the water and ocean off of California.
California's 1,100 miles of shoreline are extremely important. Each mile containing many different ecosystems and an abundance of wildlife that many who have lived here their entire lives may have never seen. Think of it like a national or state park, but underwater. There are 124 in total, ranging from the Oregon border down to the Mexican border. The ocean is a source of food and energy. It is also home to a new frontier of exploration and discovery. While much of the coastline seems to be in pristine condition, it is under constant pressure from human impacts like pollution, overfishing, and overdevelopment. A marine protected area is one really important tool to help solve this problem.
Statistics show that 28% of animals are actually larger within marine protected areas. Population size actually increases by almost 20% larger over non-protected areas. And this is really important because, not only do we get to see these really big, beautiful, diverse fish that we want you to see out here in California, but these populations also, they help feed and diversify the non-protected areas around them. So marine protected areas help everybody, and they make it that much more fun and enjoyable for all of us to actually spend our time inside of them.
My sister and I, when we were snorkeling, we found some abalone, I saw kelp, and there were a lot of Garibaldi, which is a type of fish, a little shark. It was harmless, which I thought it was gonna be like Jaws if I ever saw one, but it actually wasn't too bad.
It is a very, very fun experience because it's not something you see every day. It's just a very calm environment to swim in, and there's a lot of cool things. Like, I like that the water's nice and blue.
Because it was calm, it was peaceful, there wasn't a lot of noise. It was just like little animals, shells, shiny shells. It was really pretty. If you were really nervous about it, I'd say to just start off slow, have someone, if you're scared, have someone next to you, and just slowly urge yourself into the water and you'll be fine.
Just start at the edge and you'll find yourself getting more balance with the wetsuit because it's supposed to help you stay warm and stay afloat. So it kind of helps with buoyancy. And it also, you'll find yourself getting very comfortable in the water. You're gonna wanna explore, you're gonna wanna see what's underwater with you.
And you're gonna see a lot of new plants, you're gonna see a lot of fish, you're gonna see a lot of shells, you're gonna see a lot of new things that you haven't seen before, and it's just gonna be a really, really fun experience, and you're going to love it.
So, snorkeling is a great way to experience a marine protected area and really use our observational skills. Scientists have actually come up with a great way to observe marine protected areas. They're called ROVs, or remote operated vehicles. They can use cameras to make observations underneath the water. They can also use attachments like robotic arms or collection vessels so they can take samples and ensure that an ecosystem is healthy, wealthy, and thriving. Now that we've gone snorkeling, we're actually going to get all of our stuff together. We're going to get dried off and head over to the dock, and we're going to actually launch an ROV. Let's go check it out.
In front of us, we've got actually the observation class mini ROV, the Trident open ROV. So we can use this to actually deploy really quickly to gain data on different types of fish or invertebrates. This ROV comes equipped standard with a 1080p camera that is capable of doing videos, and we use it actually as the primary means of navigation. So when we're piloting it, we have a small controller that has an LED screen on it, and we can actually watch everything that's going on in real time. This is actually a 100-meter cable, so that's about 300 feet. It's what we call a tether. It's to communicate with the onboard computer and give it simple commands that allow us to, turn left, turn right, go up or down, and then even hover if we need to.
So we actually came here to explore some of the marine protected area, and we're kind of learning about that. So as a researcher, and you're really involved in studying the ecosystem here, maybe keeping track of the species.
That's right.
Are ROVs important for that? Or how would you guys use that?
Absolutely. So early ocean explorers, they went down in diving bells and could only stay down for a very limited amount of time. And then, of course, Jacques Cousteau came out with the aqualung, and people were able to then dive with a limited amount of air. But even so, that's, as I said, it's limiting. We can only stay down for maybe an hour, hour, 15 minutes. What an ROV does is allows us to stay down and explore the ocean for as long as the battery can last. And that's typically 3 to 4 hours. So we can explore a lot longer, cover a lot more ground. So one of the biggest tools that oceanographic explorers use in this current modern age. When we explore live in person, either whether we're in submersibles or on scuba, we do disturb the habitat and the creatures that are down there. And what we found is when we explore with the vehicle, animals behave more normally. They tend to stay around and not get disturbed. So it's a great tool for actually being able to observe natural behavior for an extended period of time.
If you look closely, you'll see some Pacific barracuda hunting in the shallows. These expert predators have pushed a bait ball right up on the shore to feed. The small silvery fish you see darting around are called anchovies. Hundreds of them gather in large shoals to disorient their would-be attackers with their shiny scales and frantic swimming patterns. Scenes like these are easier to capture with the use of a remote-operated vehicle and give us a rare glimpse into a world that lies just beyond the sandy shore.
All right, so we are gonna take a little hike this evening. We're gonna be checking out some parts of the island, and we're gonna be going up to an overlook called Arrow Point to check out the sunset. So along the way, what we wanna be looking at during our hike is the way that different organisms, plants, and animals adapt to their life on the island. Everything that lives on a desert island has these adaptations that make it be able to live and survive here where there's not a lot of water. So animals all have certain kinds of adaptations too. One of the animals that we might see on our hike is the Catalina island fox. It's a gray fox, and it's actually a lot smaller than its mainland counterpart, which those foxes are larger. So on an island environment where animals tend to be isolated, one thing that happens over time for them to adapt is that they tend to get smaller. So if we see a Catalina island fox, it might actually look like a small cat. So we'll keep our eyes out for for other ways that things have adapted to living on an island when we're on our hike. You guys ready?
All right, you guys, over here we've got an invasive species. It's called fennel. So it's something that's not native. It grows super fast and it takes away the resources from the other plants that are native around it. So we actually have some conservation projects to remove the full fennel stalk here at camp. We want to make sure that you get down at the bottom and then you remove the entire stalk so that the roots all come out instead of stopping and letting it spread. So fennel is not good here. We want to get rid of it, but this is a fennel plant.
All right, so this tree here is a Catalina cherry tree, and every plant and animal that grows on the island has to be adapted to this environment. There's not a lot of water, and these cherry trees actually grow naturally on Catalina Island. They're native. So one way that the tree is adapted to living here is by having very thick and kind of waxy leaves. That way it can retain a lot of water. So you can pass that around and check it out and feel exactly how a Catalina cherry tree has adapted to the island. So we did find some fox tracks here in the sand, and as well as some fox scat. And so in talking about those adaptations, the fox on the island are pretty opportunistic, and they will take advantage of eating anything that they can find when food is scarce. So usually you can tell from their scat what they may have eaten, such as berries, lemonade berries, or other small fruits from the island.
We've had a pretty great day here at Emerald Bay, and we just wanted to take a moment to recognize how we can just slow down a little bit in life. It's always good to take a moment and remember your place, remember where you are. And I feel like a place like where we're at right now is a good spot to start. So let's reflect just a little bit together. So we're going to do a quick exercise. If you guys want to join along, you're more than welcome to. You're going to take your hands, just put them right here on your knees. You can sit crisscross if you like. Put your chest up a little bit, shoulders back. And if you want to close your eyes, you can. If not, that's okay too. And you're going to take a nice big deep breath in through your nose and hold it and breathe out slowly through your mouth. Letting those shoulders just lower and relax. This time, take a big deep breath in. Hold it, and I want you to just think about one thing you did today and breathe out slowly. Now close your eyes this time, everybody. And we're going to picture one thing that we did that we want to remember. And we're going to take that memory, and we're going to take some normal breaths here. About 2 normal breaths. 1 more. Now you're going to take your shoulders and you're going to push them up just a little bit. Tense up your shoulders and think about all the things that are going on right now and how you can choose to relax and breathe in. And as you breathe out, lower those shoulders. And just move them around a little bit. Just get a little loose there. This is all for you guys. This is just to make sure that we can all just relax and take a moment. Now, if you'd like, you can open your eyes again. If you want to just stay in this for a little bit, you can. But don't forget to take a moment every now and then, no matter what you do, no matter how big, how small, whether it's an adventure or it's something you do every day. Take a minute to appreciate it. Take a minute to just take a breath. It's the most important thing you can do. What do you guys think? I think so. All right, we've got some other stuff to do, and we're losing some daylight here. So you guys, what do you think about a campfire?
Yeah. The most interesting thing I did was snorkeling, because we got to see a ton of fish and it was a lot more lively than when you'd usually just go to the beach.
I would describe this place as very, very relaxing. It's very inspiring because maybe it might inspire a kid to get into marine biology or maybe even be an activist.
We want to respect nature because like the beach, like you could just have a few like fishing boats come here and all the animals will be gone. And there will be oil in the water and it wouldn't be as clear and pretty. You have to respect the animals. By respecting the ocean and nature, it's another way of respecting each other.
For kids that are cooped up in the room from COVID, maybe just taking a step outside and just looking up at the sky and letting the wind hit your face and letting the sun, letting yourself feel the warmth from the sun. It's just a time to be able to collect your thoughts and just relax for a second.
Emerald Bay has given us the opportunity to learn more about a place that is so close to where we call home, getting us back to our wild roots, to explore, to learn, and to ask questions. I hope that this inspired you to look around and discover new things in familiar places. Our mission as educators is to inspire learning no matter where we may be. So get out there, explore and learn. And remember, no matter who you are, the outdoors will always be there for you.